This two-on-one attempted robbery proves when compliance and fighting back is the optimal strategy. Hey, in today's clip, we're going to see how you can combine compliance along with fighting back, and it can sometimes be the optimal strategy, even if your marksmanship skills aren't perfect and you don't do everything else right. If you don't know me yet, my name is Caleb Lee. I am the #1 best-selling author of Concealed Carry 101, and I'm also the founder of Patriot Training Center, where we teach live gun training courses in pistols, rifles, and shotguns for people just like you who want to learn how to defend themselves and the people that they love. I'm going to go ahead and play this clip here of a two-on-one robbery that I came across, and then at a certain point, I'm going to mute it because there's some music that got overlaid over top of it, and it's just really loud and it's not really adding anything to it. But at the beginning, we can hear kind of some of the talking. We have a guy that's sitting in here in a convenience store, and we see two robbers come into the store, and we'll just start it right here. And then I'm just going to mute it now because the music gets really loud. All right, so just want to play it through one time without the music getting in the way here, but we definitely see what was going on. We had two suspects coming to the store. We got the guy in the kind of camouflage looking hoodie that is up close to the camera, and then his buddy towards the back of the store there. We're going to see him in just a moment in a black outfit. And this guy's obviously robbing the store owner, or the cashier rather, as we'll see in a minute. Because this was such an interesting clip, I went looking for the news story associated with this, and there's something specific that I'd like to share about it. But we see here, guys robbing him, and his friends in the background going up and getting some other things out of the store. And when the store owner, when the cashier sees that they're distracted, he's not carrying the gun on him, which is a mistake. So it takes him a while to access it. Or if he was grabbed by the collar or couldn't get back to where the gun was, he would have been out of luck. But luckily, these guys were distracted enough. He saw his opportunity. He got the gun, and he starts firing. Now, he's firing blindly. He has his other hand up in front of his face, starting from a seated position, kind of gets up, multiple shots. We'll go ahead and turn the audio up just for this part here so you can hear all the shots. So really kind of firing blindly and definitely almost magged up in at these guys. And then you'll see him. He went off screen here on the left, but then he'll come back up because this guy is moving around and he still has the gun in his possession. And then he fires a couple more shots at the bad guy, which is really interesting. So that's what led me to go looking for more information on this clip and exactly what happened and trying to figure out if that was going to be an issue because if the fight is over, then there's no reason to shoot. And if he was already making a getaway, maybe legally that could be problematic. So I was very interested to see how that turned out.
Boy shot and killed inside a New Orleans East convenience store.
And this follow-up video, this is from a news story that was put out on it. And they make a big deal about the age of the first criminal here. But what's interesting to me is kind of the charges being filed in the specific state that this happened, Louisiana, because it's something that could be valuable learning lesson for us.
Has been identified. According to NOPD, 16-year-old Cecil Baptiste and an 18-year-old accomplice were robbing that store at gunpoint when a clerk opened fire, killing Baptiste. Paul Murphy has the latest on that shooting.
The teenage boy captured on security camera video brandishing a handgun with an extended magazine inside Sam's Meat Market was identified as 16-year-old Cecil Baptiste. According to court documents, two suspects we now know as Baptiste and 18-year-old Tioni Juarez were involved in Tuesday night's armed robbery at the store in New Orleans East. Video shows the man identified as Juarez wearing a black ski mask. Baptiste is seen pointing a gun at a clerk working the cell phone counter, then stuffing cash and other items in his pockets. As the suspects exited the store, the clerk at the phone counter pulled out a gun and opened fire. A bullet struck Baptiste in the abdomen, causing him to collapse to the ground. Orleans District Attorney Jason Williams did not want to talk specifics about the case, but he told our partners at WWL Radio, once somebody puts a gun in your face, the rules change.
It's painfully obvious to anyone who saw that video what those two people were doing in that store, and that shop owner did not ask for that exchange.
According to the initial police report, Juarez returned fire and was struck in the right forearm as he ran from the store. Police say an unknown woman drove Juarez to University Medical Center and left as he entered the hospital. He was treated for a gunshot wound and arrested by the NOPD. Loyola law professor Dane Cialino said in Louisiana, unlike some other jurisdictions, Juarez can't be held accountable for Batiste's death.
He can't be charged with a homicide crime because this killing was done by the victim rather than by a co-felon.
Video shows the phone clerk leave and return seconds later, shooting Batiste 2 times as he struggled on the floor. Batiste later died at UMC. Cialino doubts the clerk will be charged in the shooting.
That clerk was in obviously a high-stress situation and saw the perpetrator still moving with a gun.
Juarez is now facing charges including armed robbery, aggravated battery, and the illegal use of a weapon. His bond was set at $170,000. Paul Murphy, WWL, Louisiana.
Okay, so it looks like the good guy had a good outcome in this case, but I think it's important because most of us at the end there that could have been questionable as he's shooting at the guy that's laying on the ground, and some people would wonder about how that would happen legally or how that could turn out, and I think a lot of people have a lot of fear about that. Thankfully, in this instance, it seems like according to the law expert that was there, he wasn't the DA. It looked like, but his opinion was that he wouldn't be charged because it was still a still a happening gunfight, and this guy thought that he was still a threat, and the guy still had a gun and he was moving around on the ground, so he was shooting at him to make sure that the threat was stopped. So it's good to hear that it sounds like this is going to turn out well. I'll if I can find some more research. I couldn't find the follow-up to see what the actual ruling was. I don't know if it's been long enough for that to be settled or whatever, but so far so good. It looks like the good guy came out of that okay. As far as the actual strategy used to survive the gunfight, obviously there's a lot of things that could have been done better, but I think the primary strategy of combining compliance along with fighting back at the right time was obviously what worked out the best for him. So, the gun was in his face. This would be a very bad time for him to try to swivel that chair back and get to the gun. The gun was carried on his body. He maybe could have had made that work. It could have been quicker if he had waited for a moment of distraction. And even though the guy's got the gun up and around, he was looking around, grabbing other things off the shelf, grabbing the cash, grabbing the phones, according to the news stories here, right? So they're doing other things. So he could have been distracted if he was carrying the gun on his body. He could have gone for it sooner. But in this case, he had to kind of wait till they were even further away before he could wheel the chair back and get to the gun, which appears to be under the desk here. So obviously, this is not ideal. If you can carry the gun on your person, that's always going to be the fastest way to access it. But as it was, he waited for the right moment when he saw the opportunity, and these guys were far enough away that he could get to the gun without being seen, and then he fought back. Now, when it comes to his marksmanship and gun handling, obviously, like I counted like 10 or 11 shots here in the initial foray when he's shooting at these guys, and he's just kind of spraying and praying. You can see his other hand up here in front of his eyes, and he's shooting. Your arms aren't going to stop a bullet, so putting him up for defense isn't going to help a whole lot. Maybe it was when the glass started breaking. It was just kind of like a natural reaction type thing. But we see him just kind of spraying and praying here. Pointing in the general direction, and he got obviously one of those good hits on that guy, caused the suspect to drop down. They're blurring it here in the official news story that got posted, but fired multiple hits, not really doing much aiming, but the bad guy saw resistance. This guy was fighting back. It turned from an easy robbery to a victim that was fighting back, and it caused them to flee. And then, as you heard in the news story, obviously the other guy that didn't get hurt at the scene and wasn't on the ground, he tried to get to a hospital, and they arrested him there later. But so it sounds like it turned out pretty good for this guy, even though some things he did wrong. But the primary things that he did right was choosing the right time to fight back. So there was compliance at the beginning to give himself an opportunity to get to the gun. Things that he did wrong, in my opinion, having the gun not on your person is going to be the slowest way to get access to it. You don't have control over it, and then your options are very limited as to when you can actually go for the gun, right? He could have started fighting back much sooner. And then obviously we're talking about the marksmanship skills and, actually being trained to be able to use the gun and give yourself the best chance of success. In this case, Thankfully, the guys that were the criminals, they weren't hurting criminals. They weren't fighting back. Basically, they got shot at, and they decided they didn't want to be in a gunfight. And the one guy got hit early enough in the fight that he dropped to the ground and didn't continue fighting. And then at the end, he was moving around and making noises and still had the gun in his hand, so he got some follow-up shots as well. So, and then all that said, legally, it looks like this guy's going to get off okay. So, bad guys 0 and good guy defender, it looks like he won the fight. So, let me know what you think in the comments. And I don't think that we can look at lots of examples of scenarios like this and times that we've seen it play out. And there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of successful defensive gun uses in the United States every single year without people like this guy that do not have any training at all or have very little to no training. But basically, you're relying on hope. Hope is a strategy. I don't think that hope is the best strategy. I think it would be smart for anybody that has a gun to take that responsibility seriously and get yourself trained to a level of proficiency that you have the confidence in your skills that if you were placed in this type of situation, you could actually perform and defend yourself or defend your loved ones if it comes to that. So that's why we offer the training that we do here. If you click the first link in the description below, you can book a call to speak to me to see if our training is right for you. And again, let me know what you think in the comments about this guy's defensive scenario, and I'll see you in the next video.